Hey, let's be honest about it. Let's be straight up honest about it. Who would have thought that we would even do this episode during the bye week when the Mountaineers were 2-4? And if you say, I knew you guys would do a bowl preview, bless your heart. That's good. Because this is it. The Minnesota Bowl Preview. West Virginia, Golden Gophers, Guaranteed Rate Bowl. Hello! Episode 340, Three Guys Before the Game. Presented by Caesars Sportsbook. Download, get started, risk-free bet of up to $1,001 in free bets by Comax Business Systems. Full-service Konica Minolta dealer. Go to Comax Business Systems, ComaxWV.com. Burdett Camping Center, the only Warranty Forever RV dealer in all of West Virginia. Visit them at burdettcamping.com. By West Virginia Game Changers, supporting, encouraging young people throughout our state to build healthy, addiction-free lives. You can help West Virginia families, children, become a game changer. Go to WVGamechanger.com. On this episode, we preview West Virginia and Minnesota. We talk some Mountaineer basketball. The Mountaineers into a bit of a respite at 11-1 after the victory over the Penguins of Youngstown State. Plus, your listener questions and more treats have come in to Three Guys. Hey, that's right, baby. We got pizzelles.
Those candies, those Hall's candies.
Yeah, how good were they?
They might be the best individual candies I've ever had.
Best in the world.
I'm going to tell you something. Know the guy that invented chocolate. Pretty good.
No, seriously. I mean, at my house, I took them home. And at my house, every night after dinner, it's like a little thing. My wife and I get it out and we read the thing. And and she has one and I have one. And, Brad got it when we ate like three.
I was just saying.
Take a couple bites. Those are really good candies.
So you were judicious.
I don't know why you had to come out of the gate at me right there. You could just tell the story about you having some self-discipline without having to come at me. That was an unnecessary shot here on this holiday
you looked
episode.
Like Lucille Ball.
Totally.
Those candies came in.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, but I just thought it was an unnecessary shot.
Well, it's certainly two different styles of eating them because he had them done before he got into the parking lot on the way home. You guys are making
half a box.
You guys are making an episeries out of it.
2030, Kirchhoff will still be eating his out. We got one left here, Karen. Let's have one.
Should we be surprised? Still doesn't have his Christmas tree out. I mean, he's gonna get.
How would you like a nice piece of candy, young man?
Hey,
Karen.
Karen,
how good are they?
They're very smooth. Very smooth.
That's it. That is smooth.
Right, they're smooth.
Very
nice.
smooth.
Yeah.
There are certain things. There are certain things in the food industry and the wine industry that separate themselves based upon their smoothness, and that chocolate is just like off the chart smooth. I had had some wine the other night that was just so smooth it made every other wine that you ever drank go like, that is like blah.
What was
compared
it?
To the don't even pretend to write it down because it's expensive. It's expensive. You wouldn't. Let me just tell you this. It would be for you.
So you didn't buy it either.
I did.
Oh,
I did.
Okay,
I did. It would be eight to 10 bottles of what you normally pay.
How do you know how much I normally pay?
Because I think you would break down in hives if you spent $40 on a bottle of wine. Thank you.
I might.
Yes. And so this one was north of
North of 40?
$400.
Wait. Say
it was
again?
a special time. Christmas get together, and we brought out a very special bottle.
That cost $400?
Yeah, in certain circles, yes.
Oh, wait. You had got a deal somewhere.
No, I mean, that's what it is.
Wow.
That's what
no,
it
I
is.
wouldn't pay that. I mean,
but anyway, the point to all that is not, hey, drank $400 bottle of wine. The point of that is this. When you drank it, you went like, it was a head smacker. You went like, what is that? It was
wow.
Like that chocolate. Yeah.
So I bring the chocolates home, and I'm all excited because they're from West Virginia, right? So I'm telling my wife, I said, "Hey, I got these chocolates. They're Hall's," and she goes, "Yeah, I know Hall's." I go, "No, you don't know Hall's. This is Hall's from Vienna."
She thought it was Halls probably.
No. And she said, "I know Hall's in Vienna, dumbass." She goes,
Because she's from the
from
valley,
up in that general area, the Ohio Valley, so she knew.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sorry.
How often does she call you dumbass? Good number of times during the course of a week?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
It's usually deserved.
Get in line. Unconfirmed report, Burdette Camping Center. Don't know if this is true, but you know how like FedEx and services this time of year, they have to like lease out other people to deliver stuff? You know, you've seen that running around. Like I see the FedEx people running around in U-Hauls.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. A lot of
I don't have a confirmed. Believe Burdette Camping has sent out a fleet of RVs. They just packed them with gifts. They're just driving all over the state delivering.
Yeah,
so if you have an RV drive up to your home with gifts in it, probably from the only warranty forever RV dealer in all of West Virginia, visit them at BurdetteCamping.com, BurdetteCamping.com, located in Winfield. Santa may have subleased them out. Not sure. Maybe taking care of it. But Merry Christmas to those folks, and they want to wish everyone that listens in to Three Guys a very Merry Christmas. Burdette Camping Center at BurdetteCamping.com. We'll talk football. We're going to jump into the numbers. Hoppy's got his Minnesota game notes, and he is thrilled and delighted to have those in his hand. These guys have been doing a ton of football, working on the network side for 18 total bowl games. Whew. You guys going to have another one tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, you do? What?
Yeah.
You got
Gasparilla
tonight.
Sold out Gasparilla Bowl.
Haven't you and I done the Gasparilla
We
Bowl?
have.
That was fun.
You know, UCF Florida. I mean, think
Big
about,
12 member.
Yeah, future Big 12 member.
Big 12.
Think of that UCF is just like, okay, let's see who is the better team in Florida. And Florida's just like, we're a mess. You know, really, we got to. That'll be.
Haven't played since 06. Those two teams.
I still can't believe that Texas A&M just said, we're out.
Crazy. That's COVID.
COVID, fine. I still can't believe it. I still can't. That was wow. And then the fact that now we're just going to line up and sign up for games like at intramurals.
Well, Brad broke that story last night.
Excuse me?
Brad was on the cutting edge of that story last night.
You claiming that, Senator?
Well, yeah, we are claiming it. We were the first to report that Rutgers, if offered, is willing to accept the bowl.
How about that? I still can't believe that one. Put themselves in jeopardy to going 5-8.
Yeah, but it's a Gator Bowl. That'll be the best bowl in Rutgers history.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
And it's a nice little hefty payout. So they're trying to scramble to get everybody back together right now. You know what their one challenge is going to be? They got their punters over in Australia. Don't think he can get back.
Seriously.
Yeah. Have to go with backup punter there. Which might be the least of Rutgers' problems playing in the Gator Bowl. But
I don't know. They're going to be punting a lot, probably.
With the stupidness that's going on now with rosters and recruiting, why don't they just you know how like in soccer they transfer players?
Yeah.
Why doesn't Schiano call Neil Brown and say, hey, you got that Ollie Straw? He's sitting in London waiting to come over. Can we use Ollie Straw for a bowl game?
Fair point.
Just use one of his legs. He can kick with either one.
See, we talk about Rutgers football a lot.
Oh my gosh, more than when we played Rutgers.
More than the Rutgers podcast people do. They don't even want to talk about.
We talk more
team.
Rutgers football than Rutgers.
You're right.
We talk about it. Real quick, and then we'll get to Minnesota. You were on the verge of loving this bowl situation because the other option is to have a team play in a second bowl game.
Yeah.
As Kirchhoff pointed out, you drop down the loser's bracket, you're fighting your way back up through the bracket, string together a couple games here, you're back in the mix.
When did this?
If you were Marshall, you went down and played in the New Orleans Bowl. Louisiana got you, but that's okay because you advanced back through, and now you're in the Gator Bowl for the second bowl of the season. Like, teams all over are just raising their hand. Like, can we get in? Kurt Cignetti, JMU?
Yeah, JMU wanted to go.
We're going to be FBS next year. We'll play. Can we get in?
When did this devolve to basically a slow-pitch softball tournament in Parkersburg in mid-June?
Yeah.
Just work it around, come back down through the loser's bracket, double round robin.
Last year, when it got weird last year, it removed the facade of, we've got to schedule our games 7 years in advance, and we cannot move off that unless it is 7 years to the day.
Now
last year, it became just whatever time. What, you want to play? Come on, let's play.
Now we're doing bowl games.
Yeah, now we're doing bowl games.
The emergence of COVID as a principal factor in a lot of this, and the lack of control of the NCAA, combining those two things mean just
free for
all. Oh, okay. Who can play?
Well, remember, if you want to
call a guy up, it was like high school in West Virginia where they had COVID. Like a coach would call a coach. Can we go play? Yeah. Play.
Well, that's how West Virginia got Army last year. I mean, this isn't foreign concept to Mountaineer fans. Army wasn't the original bowl opponent last year.
Is that right?
Tennessee was. They had to cancel.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
And
I
said,
forgot
get
that.
Army in a bowl. Army should be in a bowl. Fine.
That's right.
We'll play Army. Let's
That's
go.
right.
Yeah. So this is old hat for West Virginians
How about Army beating the old Missouras?
by throwing it. Now they were favored, so that was a thrilling end of the game. But Army was favored in that one.
What'd you do on that one? Anything?
Nope, didn't touch it.
Was it a stinky line? Was it?
No, just didn't. I thought it got away.
Yeah.
Army probably shouldn't have been a 6-point favors, which is what it closed at.
Okay. All right, boys. We got a football game to play. There's a war to be won. What do we got? Minnesota, West Virginia. Mountaineers leave Christmas Day. Head out into the desert. Last time they played in this game, dramatic victory.
Mm-hmm.
David Sills touchdown pass. And the
At
Mountaineers
4:25 Eastern time when he caught it.
And the Mountaineers celebrated by running to a Waffle House, which was the only place that was still open.
I don't even remember that.
No one does because it was the
You were
middle of the
asleep.
night. What do you got over there, Mr. Game Note?
Well, I would start here. And I know we're going to get into the strengths and weaknesses of Minnesota, but what an odd year they had. I mean, you beat Wisconsin, you lose to Bowling Green.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's that. You lose to Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Did they beat Iowa? No, they didn't beat Iowa, but it came close in Iowa. I mean, just, Brad, just a weird year for them, an up and down year.
8-4.
Right.
Losses to Ohio State and Iowa. The bad losses are what you said. Bowling Green's a bad loss. Illinois is a bad loss. But then they turn around and beat Wisconsin. Tons of injuries for them, especially at the running back position.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter. They just kept running the football. Really good offensive line, really good defense. I don't know that I love the matchup, guys. I don't like the way, if you look at strengths and weaknesses. So offensively for them, they're going to run it. They run it like 68, 69% of the time. Of their plays have been rushing the football, and they like to go big, Tony. And that's been West Virginia's kryptonite defensively. When teams want to go big and power run against them, that's a bad matchup.
It is a bad matchup. And when was the last time West Virginia played a team that two of the offensive linemen were first-team all-conference? Fayolele, I think is how you say it, and Andrews. Both first-team all-conference. And I think that all five of the offensive linemen were at some level of honor in the Big Ten.
Yeah. Correct. That's been their strength. So that's a little bit of a concern for the West Virginia defense. On the other side of the ball, very, very good Minnesota defense. Top 5 in yards per game. Their yards per play defensively, guys, are right in line with Oklahoma. Or Oklahoma State, excuse me.
Yeah.
You remember what Oklahoma State did to West Virginia. So the challenge, I think, for West Virginia, without your best offensive player for an offensive group that struggled a bunch this season, what's West Virginia do to move the ball? You're going to have to protect. You're going to have to throw it well. This is going to be a Jared Deggy receiver game.
Here's what scares the heck out of you. They have not allowed more than 27 points in a game since their season opener. This is what they've allowed since they gave up 45 to Ohio State back on 2 of September. Since then, they gave up 26, 0, 14, 13, 23, 16, 14, 14, 27, 14, 13. Yeah. They are 9th in the country in scoring defense, 9th in the country in rushing defense, 10th in the country in pass defense, 4th, as Brad said, in total yards, 9th in 4th down conversions. Can't convert against them on 4th down. So, yeah, from that perspective, statistically, you shake your head. However, the one thing you got going for you is it's a bowl game, and it's a whole new deal. And mentally, these things are more mental than they are physical.
All right, and then let me give you the West Virginia positive side. All that's true. Their DV. You can't take away those numbers. That's what they did on the field. Here's the offenses they faced. Ohio State in the first game lit them up, right? Put 45 on them, and we're going up and down the field. Then it was Miami of Ohio, Colorado, who was bad, Bowling Green, who was bad, Purdue wasn't great offensively, Nebraska struggled mightily offensively. Maryland, we know, looked very good against West Virginia, but was nothing special throughout the rest here. Northwestern, bad offensively. Illinois, horrendous offensively. Iowa, I think I could have started at quarterback for Iowa this year. Bad offensively. Indiana, awful offensively. Wisconsin, Graham Mertz, 9 touchdown passes, 10 picks at quarterback. Bad offensively. So I'm not saying West Virginia is the reincarnation of the highest scoring offense in the world. I get what West Virginia's limitations are. This Minnesota defense hasn't really been tested offensively very much.
But that's what you cite is one of the reasons why the total is only 44.
Yes.
And And so I think it's in this defense, like you talked about, Tony, those stats, they're giving up only there's 16 points a game average and 100 yards on the ground per game. And West Virginia going to have Mathis instead of Brown. We need to talk about that. But I think that makes it imperative that when West Virginia gets near the red zone and inside the red zone, where at times they've struggled, you have to take advantage of that. You can't come away from the red zone with no points or 3 points. I think when you get there, Brad, you've got to score because you just might not get that many chances.
You do. I mean, listen, we're in game 13 here. The formula remains the same even without Letty Brown. Tony Mathis is going to have to find a way to get some yards on the ground. You're going to have to protect. You're going to have to throw it, and then you're going to have to capitalize when you get those scoring opportunities. And can you force them into some turnovers? Can you get a couple fumbles?
Against Bowling Green, they had 3 turnovers. That's why they lost, including 2 late interceptions, and that's why they lost that game. 3 turnovers.
Neil Brown compared this Minnesota team to Baylor, Tony, schematically, which if that type of team shows up, West Virginia is in a heap of trouble, obviously. A couple of the power rankings that I use when I'm looking at different lines and such have Minnesota power rated very similarly to Kansas State, which is more of a favorable matchup, which, given the total and given the spread, that matches a little more than what the Baylor comparison does from what Neil's saying from a X and O standpoint.
Another thing, if you're West Virginia, that you've got going for you is that offensively, this is not an explosive Minnesota team. In other words, they don't have cats that are going to be running down and doing deep verticals, and you got to worry about that. They're just going to try to absolutely mulch you to death. Just if you think old school Big Ten football, just like honking dudes, here's their offensive line. Sam Schluter, left tackle, 6'6", 325 pounds. Connor Olson, left guard, 6th year, 58th career start, 6'5", 310. Center, 6'4", 320. Right side guard, you had already referred to, Blaze Andries, 6'6", 335. Right side tackle, oh no, mama, it's Daniel
Falalele.
Fa-a-latte.
No, not latte.
No, Falalate with almond milk. No, Falalale, right? Fa-a-lale. 6'9".
Yeah, hello.
380.
What?
6'9", 380. Kind of like 2 people in one person.
What do you do with that?
31st career start.
Just
First team, all Big Ten. So they got these big horses, and their tight end is 265, 6'5". They got another tight end, guy by the name of Brevin Spann Ford, 6'7", 270. So they're going to just try to make it a really short game. Pound you, pound you, pound you. That's what it's all coming about. West Virginia's going to have to play that cat and mouse game of loading up the box and probably putting corners out on man-to-man coverage and just saying, shut out, I'll do you.
You're going to have to, and see if Tanner Morgan can beat you, who's an experienced quarterback. He grades out on PFF very similarly to Jared Dagey, almost identical, in fact, in terms of a lot of their numbers on there. So I mentioned they run it nearly 70% of the time, does Minnesota, and when they don't, it generally comes off of an RPO that you've pulled and throw it or off a play action. Now, one of the good news, you want the good news there with that, guys? West Virginia first in the Big 12 in coverage against the play-action pass. So what Minnesota's going to do when it throws it fits right into what West Virginia has been good at defending this year in terms of defending the play-action coverage.
Bizarro stuff here. Tanner Morgan is from Union, Kentucky. When he was a little squirt, he would go to camps where Neil Brown was coaching. So Neil Brown knows the kid, knows the family, knows the whole deal well. And then obviously you've got the Kirk Soroka deal, who has left West Virginia as the offensive analyst, will not be at the game, but he's now their offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see. We'll never know how much of a role that plays in this game and or in Minnesota's offensive game plan. I think at this point they're not going to change anything. Morgan was really good when Soroka was there. I mean, it was a different kind of Tanner Morgan. He's not asked to do the same things now. I doubt that Minnesota is going to change what it does offensively. They're going to ride those big guys and run it this year. Run it this game.
Yeah, Tanner Morgan's cousin is Tim Couch. Remember Tim Couch?
Yeah,
Kentucky
sure.
quarterback. So, Senator, when you take a look, squeeze PFF at this thing, squeeze it upside down, turn it around, spin it around, what has to happen here? Turnovers?
Yeah, I think you're going to need some help. Yeah, I think you need to get some turnovers. The again, their ability to be big up front and run right at you, to use your term, mulch, that's the concern. We saw the most recent example of that is what? It's when Texas finally figured out, hey, here's what we need to do. Now, West Virginia was fighting through a lot of injuries at that point, but this West Virginia team is not built to line up a bunch of big guys and stop power running. So if Minnesota's able to do that and chew you up front, then I think you got some problems. So that's my concern. You need to find a way. Even if they're getting yards down the field, can you stop on third down? So third down becomes critical.
Right.
But second down and first down are critical too. Can you get them behind the sticks and make Morgan have to throw the football on you?
You know, we saw last night, Brad, in the Army-Missouri game, is that Missouri could move down the field pretty rapidly, but then Army would stiffen in the red zone. Missouri had to settle for field goals instead of touchdowns, and then Army gets the field goal late to win the game. So, yeah, you're going to give up ground. I mean, Minnesota's going to get ground. But can you hold them to a couple of punts? Can you keep them from getting 7? I think that's a key. And then can Deggy have a they're going to be tough to run on this team, but you have to try to run. And is Deggy on? Is Deggy on? And the receivers make plays. And, you know.
That's a good point. Obviously, last year, Jarrett went into that bowl game and just was not himself. And that led to the move. Remember, everyone remembers Austin Kendall comes in second half and takes over. And I would think that somewhere in the back of Jarrett's mind, he wants to go out there and play, a really good bowl game. I also think if you're West Virginia, knowing what we know about this Minnesota team, I just think they'll, again, don't run out to the message boards here. And I just think personally, they got to do, I don't have any inside knowledge. They got to do something different. I mean, as much as you can do different, in other words,
what can you, like what?
Pass it more.
Who?
West Virginia. Just like say, hey, we're going to pass this thing. We're going to throw this ball. Our game plan will be to attack through the passing game.
Yeah, and that's the strength of this team. That was the strength of the team if you had Letty Brown because of your troubles. I think that's where it's got to be now. You just have to have the ability to block them. Can you block them up front? And if you can, then I think that's where you go. You start attacking. Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. By the way, parenthetically, off topic, sort of, kind of, Doug Nestor getting engaged at Mountaineer Field over the weekend.
Really?
Yeah. Wonder how many engagements now we have of Mountaineers all time. I know of 3 now. Reese Donahue, most recently, Anthony Becht, and now Doug Nestor. Doug Nestor getting engaged. So at least 3 football players have been engaged on the field.
How many divorces have occurred at Mountaineer Field? Like during ball games. You've had enough to drink, and I've had the end of it.
I bet you there's been a few. I bet you there's been a few. PFF keep that?
I do not have that stat.
Yeah.
Do not have
home game divorces. Yeah. Over under, put a hook in it. Okay, man. Again, I'm interested. I'm intrigued in this game because you just don't know what you're going to get.
Don't know. Go take a swing.
Yeah.
Go take a swing against a bowl opponent you've never played in a spot. I think you said that well in the open of the show, Tony. We sat here in that open week. There were a lot of questions. There were a heck of a lot more questions than there were answers, not just about this team, but program-wise. Right. Where was this program? And it rallied itself, and those guys inside that locker room and stepped back and got together. I'm excited to watch this. Give it one more game. Let's see what you got.
Tony Mathis, opportunity for you. Last game out, 118 yards, career high, 22 carries. Letty obviously is out of the picture. West Virginia's got Justin Johnson behind him, the true freshman who's carried it 19 times this season. And then we would go to Marquand Rucker. He would be the number 3 running back, young man from West Virginia, Tyler Consolidated High School. Then you've got the whole Jarrett Deggy situation. How much tick does Garrett Green get in this game? You don't know. Charles Finley moves into the starting role at tight end because TJ Banks has left. Mike O'Loughlin obviously out with injury. That means Traylon Davis, true freshman out of Jackson, Ohio, moves into the number 2 spot. Victor Winkstrom, he'll be into the picture as well, young man out of Sweden. And you go from there. On your right side tackle, you don't have Parker Moore anymore as your backup. So you've got a situation there. Maybe you see a little Nick Malone go over to that right tackle spot if Wyatt Milam needs to be spelled. But obviously the hope would be for West Virginia to play its 5. And then
and Milam's played a ton of snaps here down the stretch. It's part of the reason Parker Moore is in the transfer portal. Milam has been almost exclusive over there at the right tackle.
Sure. And, I mean, Wyatt Milam, people knew it coming in. He was going to be the guy, and he's the guy already as a freshman All-American. And receiver-wise, it's the same guys. Obviously, Isaiah Esdale gone. But we're talking Bryce Ford-Wheaton, Winston Wright, Sean Ryan, Caden Prather, Sam James, Reese Smith. And if you want to move someone else into your depth chart, if Esdale's gone, then put in Preston Fox and Grayson Melishevich. they both would be guys that would figure into that mix. Over on the defensive side, Lance Dixon banged up toward the end of the season. We expect to see him back out there for WVU. What else? Charles Woods was banged up late in the season at the Kansas game. So here we go, man.
That unit was decimated. So you're hoping here these what it's been 3 weeks before the game really helps this group get back healthy.
Well, it'll be November 27. So they'll play again December 28. So a full month. 4 weeks. Yeah, 4 weeks between games. So we'll see what happens. Coming up, we've got your questions. I went to the bathroom.
Excuse me?
Last night at the basketball game.
Why are we talking about bathrooms again on this show?
Take your banjo with you?
Nope.
Like bathroom activity has replaced bores.
Yeah, it has. You're right, yeah.
It's in context to the story.
Go ahead.
Guy's washing his hands. I'm waiting in line. He turns around and says, "Hey, Tony, big Three Guys listener." I said, "Really?" He says, "I'm from Mississippi. In for the holidays." And I said, "Well, I appreciate that. Whereabouts in Mississippi?" He said, "Gulfport." He was a pastor.
Okay.
Listens to Three Guys from Mississippi.
Awesome.
So we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Also had a Beckley.
Was he from here?
Originally.
Okay.
I forget where he said he was from originally. Also, Beckley police officer ran into him. Said big Three Guys listener. So while he's
Big
out
Three Guys night at the Coliseum last night. That's great.
Yeah.
Three Guys night in the bathroom.
Yeah, yeah. And that's not even to mention the gift that we have. We'll get into that as well. But people do like, I don't know why, but they do like Three Guys before the game. Mountaineer basketball team wins at 82-52 last night. That was a super interesting game if you take a look at the two halves. If Charles Dickens wrote about it, Hoppy, he'd say it was a tale of two halves.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
It was, but we started with the worst of times to get things started. Hey, a reminder that the Three Guys Before the Game podcast is brought to us by the Caesars Sportsbook. Download, get started with a risk-free bet of up to $1,001 in free bets. And don't forget, from now until January the 19th, you've got the opportunity to earn yourself a free NBA jersey. Free, authentic NBA jersey, and here's how it works, courtesy of Caesars Sportsbook. You opt in, bet a total of $100 on NBA games. From now until January the 19th, you get a $150 gift card that you can use toward an authentic NBA jersey of your choice. Up until January the 19th, all you have to do is place your wager, and there's hoops games every single night. You can bet before the game. You can bet in-game as well. Just sign up for that promotion. As always, keep an eye open for daily profit boosts, bonuses, sweeps, much more, including getaways, chances to win massive grand prizes. You must be 21. The offer valid for new and existing users who opt into the offer. Jersey awarded as a gift card. Options vary. See full terms and eligibility restrictions at Caesars.com/promos. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. All games regulated by the West Virginia Lottery. Please play responsibly.
You mentioned that in-game play there.
Yeah.
It was a nice one last night at halftime for those of you paying attention and or listening to Sportsline. We talked about it on the
What was it?
9.5 at the half.
For WVU.
9.5 at the half.
And Brad, that game, you explained it, that had that gap possibility, right?
So
you can get
the middle. Yeah, so the middle possibility was on the, so how about this was the other part of that. 9.5 if you wanted in-game live West Virginia at the half. It closed at 16.5. Yeah. West Virginia's a big favorite. Here's the tricky number, though, that might have got some people, and I feel bad for those that it did. Line, not in every place, but line closed pretty consensus, 133.5.
I saw that.
133. Hoppy, the game landed at 134 after a 47 in the first half, 45 in the first half, and it landed at 134. So the live line over-under total number at the half was 114.
Oh, wow. So it was, you just
so
killed
you
that
could have
thing.
gone, you could have hit the over there and still made some money on that side.
I tell you what, Seth Wilson, the freshman, almost put another 2 up on the board. They were just dribbling out the clock. He got the ball, and he had that look. You know, you get that look? Like, I'm putting this baby out. And then you can see his team, no. Just hold on to it. Just
pretty much everything
just
was in the can at that point, but there's some Caesars Sportsbook numbers for you.
So what we saw last night was how bad West Virginia could be, i.e. 23% in the first half on 7 out of 30, 0 of 5 from 3, kept themselves in at the foul line where they made 10 out of 12, and they're up by a digit at halftime, 24-23, and then they outscore the Penguins 2-1 in the second half, 58-29. So West Virginia more than doubled its scoring from the first half to the second half, and they win at 82-52. Sean McNeil, man, when he gets hot, like you can say, he doesn't miss. Well, no, he really didn't miss. He was 8 of 8 in the second half, 4 of 4 from 3, and gets you 23 points in 28 minutes.
Couple things. Go back, because you glossed over that too fast for as much as we've had to talk about bad free throw shooting. 10 made free throws in the first half of your 24 points. Think about that. If you're not getting to the line, that half was even more abysmal than what it ended up being, number one. Number two, we spent some time on Sportsline on this last night. I think that right there, that was a flat spot for West Virginia. That was a bad situation in the first half. You could have seen that coming a mile away off that UAB game with Christmas break right around the corner, guys leaving. So not totally shook up about the lackluster first half.
Right.
But I do think the overall formula there might be something you see moving forward. And what would concern me if I was a West Virginia opponent is exactly how that game went down last night. You had West Virginia on the ropes if you were Youngstown State. You were doing everything you had to. Sherman wasn't getting buckets. McNeil wasn't getting buckets. You're holding them in check. And then all of a sudden, McNeil just gets blistering white hot. And the thing's over. See ya. And that might be how West Virginia has to win some games. So you saw it against UAB. Same thing. Sherman wasn't going. He was held in check. But West Virginia stayed close enough, stayed in close contact there, and then one or both of those guys get cranked up, and they get so hot so fast that they can propel you. That might be what you might have to win some games like that this year.
In one game, you saw how bad West Virginia can be and also how good West Virginia can be. So that was interesting. But the story is that you get to this point of the year and you're 11-1. I mean, my gosh, you take that all day. And now, Tony, we were talking about on my morning Sportsline show that you go into this conference schedule. You already have a strength of schedule that is in the top 60, and it's going to shoot way up when you start playing in your conference opponents. So now you say, can you scratch out 8 or 9 wins?
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
And then you're in the show.
As I said on your Trading Post Coffee Clatch public affairs sit down
podcast,
this COVID thing is also going to have an impact. I don't know how many more games West Virginia will play, and I don't mean that to be an alarmist. I'm just saying you're supposed to play 19 more with your non-conference game against Arkansas. I don't know. I mean, do you play 17 of them? Do you play
But it's going to be
15
relative.
of them? It'll be relative. I'm just saying you don't know how many more you get, so that's why it's so important that you have 11 in the bank. They can't take your 11 away. And so that's the huge part of this whole equation, I think, for West Virginia.
That ton of credit to those guys. With all the new pieces and
Really
trying
good.
to figure out and what you lost.
Really good.
To get to 11-1 and find ways to have gutty performances to win when you're not playing your best.
Yes.
Ton of credit to get to 11-1.
Absolutely. I mean, if you talk to the coaches before the season started, the theme was, we're going to be a lot better in February than we are now. And to get through this point, as we say, 11 out of 12, I do give those guys a ton of credit. You know who also...
Hold on real quick. Last thing. Another opponent held under 60.
Yes.
I mean, you're 9 of 12 now have been held under 60?
And like 5, is this 5 in a row?
I think so.
I think 5 in a row.
This is a fool's
75% under 60.
This is a fool's errand, but I think it has to be mentioned that when you have downtime thinking about these things, and Deuce is in the right place. He should have gone to the NBA, and he's making an impact. But if you had Deuce and Oscar not left, what kind of team would you have?
That'll always be the one. That'll rank up there with, what if Major didn't get hurt in the Fiesta Bowl?
It does. And, we're doing this. Brad and I were working last night on this bowl game, and I'm looking at the basketball scores, and I said, Brad, Oscar got 28 rebounds. Is that right? 28 rebounds. And Brad starts researching it. And what did you find out, Brad?
Rupp Arena record for Oscar on the rebounds passed a gentleman by the name of Shaquille O'Neal for that record.
Did Shaquille ever go
Shattered it.
Did
21.
Did this Shaquille O'Neal ever go on to play professionally?
He had some success.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Okay. That's pretty good. 82-52, West Virginia wins it. You know what took the lid off that game last night was Taz Sherman's back-to-back threes early in the second half, forced Jared Calhoun to take a timeout. That took it from a 2-point Mountaineer lead to an 8-point Mountaineer lead, and then it was, as they say, Katie, bar the door. Unconfirmed reports.
What?
Unconfirmed reports that the folks at Comax Business Systems have been enlisted to help Santa handle the telemetry of his upcoming journey around the world. As you probably know, if you're a listener, that Comex Business Systems is not only your full-service Konica Minolta dealer, but they are specialists when it comes into protecting your network. And you think Santa can just go out there willy-nilly, go up in the air and say, I think I'll drop one off here, drop one off there? No. It has become super complex in regard to distribution. If you're a business owner and you need help to make sure that everything is safe and protected, then give a call to the folks at Comex Business Systems. They'll come in and do a free audit inventory of your network and see if you're safe, and if not, where you need to be protected. ComexWV.com, your full-service Konica Minolta dealer. ComexWV.com. Not sure if there are any shots of Santa's sleigh, but chances are, with the way that things are being commercialized nowadays, you might see a Comex Business Systems bumper sticker on Santa's sleigh, powered by Comex Business Systems. Might be, not sure. Again, as I said at the start, unconfirmed.
Sponsorship is important.
Unconfirmed report. Blaine on the porch in Charleston. Hello, Scope, Senator, and Dean. What a week to be a Mountaineer. Waking up 5 a.m. on Wednesday with a let's go from down under was a phenomenal way to get things started. Big kudos to Groudon, are in order. In other words, Groudon, friend of this program, helping get Ollie Straw onto hoops. Saturday felt like an NCAA tournament type of a win. I don't know about you fellas, but truthfully thinking this team has something special about it in terms of getting more than the sum of its parts. Next 3 months are going to be tough, but will be a tough out in Morgantown in the Big 12. Merry Christmas. Let's go sink the boat. And for those that don't know, he's referring to P.J. Fleck, who uses the motto, their trust the climb is row the boat.
They got a whole thing. It all stands for something. They got a whole page in here about that.
Haven't pre-read this. I'll just go right into it. Signed off by The Texter. Bowl prediction, their strength on both sides, playing into our strengths. We are fairly stout against the run. I don't believe they have much of a pass rush. Deggy could have a great day. I believe we are an 8-4, 9-3 team wrapped in a 6-6 record. Coach Brown coaches to win bowl games. Good guys win by 5. West Virginia 27, Golden Gophers 20. P.S. I live in Phoenix. Sorry, from parts unknown. And with all the talk about food on the show, I mean, I make a mean jambalaya, and it'd be an honor to provide some for you guys and your crew. I already have the chafing dish in Sterno. Just let me know when and where. Everyone who's had it says it's the best they've had. It's been a staple in my family for over 20 years. I've been to New Orleans and didn't find one as good. Just saying. Picture attached. Skillet came directly from K. Paul's in New Orleans and was used for years in the kitchen. He's got a...
You got a picture of it? Of just the skillet or the whole jambalaya?
Oh, that's real right there.
I'm hungry now.
Look at that, dude. Look at that, dude.
Sounds good.
Look at that, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, Texter.
That's from Texter?
I don't know. I don't know how we would do that. I would love to sample it. I'm doing some kind of a talk show from somewhere the night before the game. I don't even know where it is.
Shock.
I'm just going. I just know.
You just go.
I'm landing at 4 o'clock. The talk show starts at 5 o'clock their time, and there's going to be a car, and we're just going to go.
You're just going to come in and sit down.
Do it.
That's your style. They're just like you come in.
Would that be any different from what we do?
Nope.
That's kind of how Sportsline works. Somebody sends a car, picks him up, brings him here, drops him off.
Does a show. Mike's on, he goes.
Hey, guys.
Hey, welcome to Johnny's Bar and Grill, everybody.
So here's the deal, dude. Mr. Texter, find out where that thing is. Bring some in a Tupperware. And it doesn't have to be hot. We'll get someone in the kitchen to warm it up. Just get a spoon, and we'll eat it.
Make sure
You'll
you
eat
get
it.
the
There's
Tupperware
0% chance that makes it back here. 0%.
Oh, you're not touching it. I'm going to eat it right there.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, in fairness to
don't say
Tony,
we.
it is in Arizona.
Yeah, he doesn't need you coming to his defense. What I'm taking issue with, he said, we'll eat it. We'll
okay. All right, fair
eat
point.
it. He didn't say, I'll eat it. If he had said, I'll eat it, I wouldn't have jumped in. Thank you,
okay, it's fair.
first of all, for you jumping in.
Tony will just get a big old wooden spoon.
Mm-hmm.
Just eat it. Like during breaks.
Yep.
Then be burping during the on-air times.
We were going to a bowl game once, one of those bad bowls, low-budget bowls.
I don't know why you say bad bowls.
No, there was a low-budget bowl we went to. Hoppy, you might have been. You might have been.
Let me tell you something. I've been to a lot of bad bowls.
I know. And so what happened was they weren't going to have their food open for the media for like hours, and we get there like 42 hours before. So we go, we got to get some food. So we just started drifting around to Mountaineer tailgates. And it's like, hey, what's up? Hey, man, what's up? What's going on with you? Is that chili? Huh. How do you make yours? Well, we use cinnamon. Really? I've never had it with cinnamon before. What's that? Does it make it sweet? Well, just try. Oh, really? Oh my gosh, that's good. Could you think there might be a second bowl? That's a true story.
Do you have a beverage to wash down that chili with?
No, I don't do that. I don't do that before a game.
Sprite or something. I'm not suggesting any alcohol.
Hey, three guys, Seth in Charleston, going back to your point about Mark Gottfried at Cal State Northridge, he was placed on leave by the university back in April for potential violations under the basketball program. Trent Johnson replaced him as the interim head coach going into the season, the former TCU head coach.
He's right. He was.
Trent was at TCU. Yeah, Trent. Yeah, he was always a dude.
By the way, that was much ado about nothing.
Excuse me?
Much ado about nothing. This new secret service, secret police, secret double secret probation committee they have where you can't appeal, right? Judges, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
NC State didn't get anything.
I know.
Probation.
I know.
Probation.
I know. All right, here we go. Here's our guy in Texas.
Probation.
Break all the rules. P1 General Manager Jason in Dallas, listening to Monday's episode after listening to the Coffee Clatcher do his all-pro job working the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Did you do the Myrtle Beach Bowl, Hop?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
I'd like to emphatically confirm West Virginia's got more Rhodes Scholars winners than Northwestern. Again, emphatically by far. You want stats? I'll give you stats. I take a look at the latest data, comes straight from the horse's mouth. I'll provide a link below. We hesitate to publish information as these statistics are often misused. I'd figure I'd go ahead and misuse the data to show how much better we are than the trash from various other universities. Because the spirit of Christmas is getting your rivals' faces and saying, ha, we're better than you. West Virginia's got 24 roads, 15th in the Power 5, including Notre Dame, 4th in the Big 12, would rank 4th in the ACC, 3rd in the Big 10, 4th in the SEC, blah, blah, blah. Focusing on the ACC, we'd rank 4th behind Virginia, Duke, and North Carolina, but that's only if you don't discredit North Carolina for their 2 decades of fake class garbage nonsense that would have gotten their accreditation stripped for eternity, but somehow resulted them in finding them no fraud.
Well, Tony, that class, that fraud class, was available to everyone at North Carolina, not just athletes, Brad. So because of that, there was no violation there.
If there's a lawyer Hall of Fame, those folks should be in it from North Carolina. One of the most brilliant defenses ever. Now, I don't know why they weren't stripped of their accreditation as a university for that.
Yeah,
I mean, right, the NCAA violation was small potatoes considering what was going on at the overall at large, but credit to those attorneys for one of the all-time great moves.
We can't hold Brad responsible for stealing because everybody steals.
Yeah.
Well, I've said after that came down, I mean, again, great defense. So if you'd like to pick up a prized athlete, you just go deliver your bag of money. And then you just go run in front of the mountain there, and the first student you see, you drop off a similar bag of money, and you just say, well,
it was for everybody.
Well, it's just for everybody. I'm just handing out money.
Yeah.
Everybody
gets money.
Right?
Sure. Everybody.
Biology major got some money.
Did you? I mean, I read that report on that. I read that report on North Carolina. I read that thing beginning to end. I thought, oh, my gosh, they got these people dead to rights.
You were aghast. Aghast, I say. CL in Clarksburg. Ironic that you mentioned University of Oregon's basketball court last show. On Saturday last, I happened upon LSU against Louisiana Tech. Thought to myself, this basketball court rivals Oregon and Charleston Civic Center as courts in which the artwork is overwhelming and in turn makes it harder to watch on TV. It was played at Brookshire Grocery Arena, CL in Clarksburg. Yeah, some bad basketball courts out there.
We talk more Rutgers football or LSU basketball on this podcast?
LSU basketball until today.
Yeah.
And Rutgers now.
By the way, breaking news, it's a podcast, so it's not breaking news. By the time you've seen this, you already know this. Rutgers is in.
Jesus. Crazy.
Rutgers is in. Hello, Rutgers to the Gator Bowl. 5 wins.
Justin in Georgia, I think the basketball team just needs to think they are playing in the second half when the game starts. I think Youngstown's Chris Shelton's name reminds me of Chris Leonard and Tracy Shelton's names combined. That's so stupid. It's funny. One thing you should listen to at speed, 1.5, is Hoppy's Coffee Clash when he debates someone like the most powerful man in the United States, Joe Manchin. Very entertaining. So they're saying crank it up to 1.5 speed. Let me see. Hugs said this is a basketball state. Is it? Well, I think this state has had a long, tremendous history in the sport of basketball. I don't think there's any question. I would offer you this. Why does it have to be one?
It does. Those things don't have to be mutually exclusive.
Exactly. I mean, you're a top 20 team all time in wins in both sports. I think it's a both. 3 guys. Huggins always points out that the press, he doesn't have the same quality as he did in Press Virginia. He doesn't have a Sags Carter. However, he has quantity. He doesn't have Sags, but he's got several good shot blockers. He doesn't have a Carter, but he's got 2 pretty good on-ball defenders. He doesn't have Nate, but he's got Gabe and Bridges that do dirty work. Yes, this team doesn't have the numbers, yet they are improving. I see a Press Virginia comeback by year's end. Merry Christmas, 3 guys, and all a good night. Jumpin' Jack in Morgantown, Scope Senator Dean. Hello! Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to the 3 guys and to the listener base, from banjos to boars, tomatoes to idiots, and everything in between. It was a great year to be a 3 guys listener, wherever you may be. Jumpin' Jack. So post-game last night at the basketball game, I was just kind of, I don't know, I was talking to Hugs or whatever. I'm looking on the court, kids go out there and take up shots. There's Jumpin' Jack on the floor, just lofting bombs, like 25-footers. Got a very high-arcing shot. High-arcing shot. So Jumpin' Jack was on the floor. Texter, 3 guys, I need some guidance or penance advice. November 19, we decided to move back to West Virginia from Tucson. 2 weeks later, it was announced West Virginia is playing in the bowl game 90 minutes away in Phoenix. Then last week, West Virginia's basketball team was playing in Alabama while we're visiting my wife's family for Christmas last week. Their party started at 4, exact time as the tip-in Alabama. I don't know what to do or make of fandom. Please advise, sincerely homeless, unemployed until January 3rd.
So wait a minute. The game was at the same time he was
as
with
his Christmas party.
In-laws?
Yeah.
Here's what I would say. If it's an intimate family gathering, you cannot excuse yourself and watch the game. If it's a party, you can slip away and check it out.
You rove.
And say, hey, excuse me a second, I'll be right back.
Texter is waiting for a Jalen Bridges to have a breakout game or consistent scoring similar to the discussions we had about Emmett Matthews to be that consistent third scorer and rebounder. Appreciate all you guys do. Merry Christmas to all.
How's Emmett doing out west?
I haven't looked at his numbers lately.
I haven't either. Saw him play once earlier this year.
I think Jalen will be more consistent over the long haul, is what I think.
Gave you some last night.
Gave him
9 points, 8 rebounds, and nice game.
Nice game last night. Dean, Senator Scopes, love the show. Quick thoughts. I am a gastrointestinal doctor by trade, and every time you say Comax can do a computer colonoscopy for your business, it makes me laugh. One of my patients earlier this week told me they avoid Takis because it causes them reflux and mouth sores. I wouldn't have known what Takis are without mention of Nico Marchiol's NIL deal on this very podcast.
It works.
So here we go.
It works.
We're in the New England Journal of Medicine.
Help us out. We need some sponsorship. There's a good sponsor. I will say this. I'm glad that texter mentioned Takis. I did receive a text from a gentleman, listener to the show, long-time friend. They are available at the friendly neighborhood Kroger store as well.
They're at Kroger's?
They're at
What,
Kroger's.
frozen food section?
Yeah.
No, I don't think they're frozen.
And then he says, finally, I saw the following image while shopping at Walmart for holiday meal preparation. He sent us a picture.
Oh, they're chips.
Of the Takis?
Yeah, interesting to see how NIL deals are influencing things. I think he probably writes one of those journals in the New England Journal of Medicine, Takis acid reflux NIL discussion. He probably gets published.
Yeah, a study.
Can we have go back and get the clips and send it to one of the salespeople here and tell them to get on that? Takis really should be a sponsor.
His research not yet peer reviewed, but we could get it in there, I think.
LSU basketball, Rutgers football, and Takis.
Yeah.
The most discussed subjects of the year.
Exactly.
I received this package last night. These are pizzelles, if you're not Italian, Italian cookies. Various designs on them. You can make them with anise. You can make them with vanilla. Greg Hunter's daughter, by the way,
very good,
made us. And I'm going to tell you something now. I've lived on these things for her and her mom make them unbelievably off the chart good. She made mint. She made chocolate. She made vanilla. She made anise, and they would be readily accepted in any Italian kitchen.
As an Italian, Tony, what's your feeling on the level of anise in pizzelles?
Oh, I like anise. A lot of people run away.
Heavy
I love
anise?
I love it.
Okay.
You
anyway,
don't like anise?
Not a big fan. A little hint.
Now, I will buy tomorrow. I will buy fennel, which is anise.
Yeah.
I will buy that, and I will make a salad with that. Just eat it straight.
You'll just eat
big
fennel?
glass bowl.
Straight, big glass bowl.
Big glass bowl. You just kind of just stabbing at it.
Oregano, olive oil, red vinegar, and I just crush it.
You ever seen him eat salad?
Oh my gosh, you kidding? It's like it's a big bowl. He gets a head of lettuce. It's a big thing because I empty the dishwasher every morning. And
save it.
And there's only one thing that can go in there because it's his big glass bowl that he's had lettuce in.
On the top, there's a coffee cup thing. On the bottom, there's one thing. You're right. Tony's big salad bowl. It's all you can get in there. It's the only thing. Half time's not washed out. Doesn't get clean.
Donna O. and Weirton sent us these with a beautiful Christmas card, a little Mountaineer Christmas card. If you can see a little Mountaineer on there doing some things. Good to see you. Cindy Lou Who. Hello. We listened to the podcasts this week while baking these cookies and wanted to share some with you. Tony, we know these would be a perfect snack for driving home after Wednesday's basketball game, but please save a few for Hoppy and Brad.
Thank you,
Donna.
Donna O. and Weirton and son Brian in Chandler, Arizona by way of Weirton. Let's go, Mountaineers, says her card.
Appreciate that.
I did not touch them. I kept them in my vehicle.
Pass one
overnight. I'm going to tell you something. You can always tell right off the bat. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Here you go. Here you go. You got it. Donna, before I even eat, if you want to take a close look at that, I got like a snowflake on there.
Oh, that's nice. Very nice.
Yeah, snowflake. I don't know if
How do you get them to keep them from
Very good.
keep them from crumbling when you make them?
Excellent. I'm just telling you right now, Donna, I'm not saying that to say it. Perfect crunch. Flavor hits you right off the top of the tongue. Superb.
Very good.
Really good.
Can I take a couple home?
You can have them, yeah. Not supposed to eat on the air, are you?
It's a podcast.
Probably bad. That's probably a bad thing. I just ate on the air. People are going to get mad. I remember one time I ate a steak during a commercial break on the Rich Rodriguez show. Came back, was just finishing off. Some guy wrote me a nasty email. It's a 2-minute network break and a 2-minute local break back to back. Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Road in 4 minutes.
I did it. I took that sucker out of that styrofoam. Rich was sitting right over there. I grabbed that steak, made a quick move to.
You cut it or just take
No. Grabbed it with two hands. Grabbed
it with two hands. You didn't even use silverware.
No, I had to get it done.
Tony have meat.
I took the gut, so I took there was a little piece of fat, so I just peeled the fat, like took that off, and then just went straight in Fred Flintstone that thing.
I'm sure Rich was impressed with that.
Well, Rich could pound it too.
Yeah.
Rich could eat. Rich could eat pretty good.
Remember we would before the talk show, we would get food from
Roadhouse. Pound it. Cinnamon rolls.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. All right, man. Our music's on, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much for listening. We're going to do next week, on Thursday of next week. What is that? What's Thursday? Is that December 31? 30?
30.
That's 30. 30. We're doing a best of 2021 show. Next Thursday, it will drop. We invite you to join us for that.
Best of or shows previously enjoyed?
Best of 2021 is what it is. We hope you enjoy us for that. All right, then we're back after the new year. So special thank you to everyone for listening in. Our program presented by Comex Business Systems, full-service Konica Minolta dealer, Caesars Sportsbook. Download, get started, risk-free bet of up to $1,001 in free bets. By Burdette Camping Center, only warranty forever RV dealer in all of West Virginia. Visit them at BurdetteCamping.com. By West Virginia Game Changer, supporting and encouraging young people throughout our state to build healthy, addiction-free lives. You can help West Virginia families and children become a game changer. Go to WVGamechanger.com. Special thank you to Taryn Malone. He's our guy that makes our graphics every show. So special thank you. Merry Christmas to Taryn. Special thank you to Dr. Mark Spruill for his directorial assistance on this program. And the other kid, I haven't seen him like in a week. Have you seen him?
I don't think he works here anymore.
The only part-timer who gets a week off at Christmas.
The only part-timer who told the guy that assigns the hours, Kirchhoff, I'm going to tell you something. I'll be gone for the week. Figure it out.
Well, happy holidays. See you.
Figure it out. Some things just don't change. Episode 343, guys, before the game. We're over. We're out. We're way out. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We'll talk to you after the Mountaineer Bowl game, and then we'll be into hoops. See y'all. Be good.